Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bikini and the Brain. I'm here with the 2.5 week out Ashley Caldwell-Sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's me.
We're
I'm
days.
here with the 2.5 week out coach here. Adam.
Yes. We are counting in the days out from the Olympia, and this is going to be our last podcast until the Olympia.
Yes. So if you don't hear from us for a few weeks, we're just focusing on Olympia. So sorry to break everyone's heart, but we will be back the Monday after Olympia.
Yeah.
So that'll be our less Olympia themed one because we've been really taking advantage of this topic of this big event going on here soon. So it'll be our last Olympia themed one, and then we'll get on to the new stuff.
And with that, I'm gonna have some time. I'm gonna be doing my prediction drop this weekend.
Just asked.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say this weekend. It's a long video. It's a hard video. There's so much to it. There's so much to go into. I've been trying to figure it out and narrow it down for a couple of weeks now. There's a lot to take in, especially the like 13th through like 8th is like so dense, so So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, look for that too, and kind of go from here. But Ashley, we're gonna go into our final thoughts for the Olympia. There's a lot of thoughts. I think
there's a lot of thoughts. I'm really giving this one a good go. I did a race last weekend, and Adam asked me how my cardio went over the weekend. And I was like, oh, wait till you hear.
Yeah, I need to hear this story.
Okay. Sometimes I'll do races to prep for shows because it's a lot more fun to me than just running on a treadmill. Rest assured, though, I do not train like a runner. The only time I run is at the races. Like, I'm not putting in miles. My form of cardio is lately been the step mill. So I just want to preface that I'm not like training for distance. So anyway, I do these from time to time to kind of get in shape for shows. So I saw that there was one last weekend and I signed up for it. This one took place in the evening, which, I'm more of a morning person, but the evening I was like, oh, this is a little weird to be running this late because the theme of it was called Devil After Dark or something. It was like a Halloween themed type race. And we ran through Lowville Canyon. It's by Red Rock. So it's really out of the way. You know what I'm talking about. So
it's kind of ways out there.
Yeah, it's really far out of the way. So it started at 6:45. So as you ran, it got dark. Now, when they had us sign up, it said, bring a hand flashlight and reflective gear. It's a must. And I was like, okay, makes sense. So I did that. Man, that was a dangerous race. I couldn't see anything. I had 2 flashlights. I couldn't see anything. So I was running in pitch black at what it felt like. And I couldn't see the floor. So I'm just like, at some point too, this is where it gets tricky, is as the race goes on, you don't see as many people because everyone's all grouped together in the beginning. And as the race goes on, so it was a 10K race, so 6.2 miles.
You ran 6 miles in the dark?
No, it was probably like 4 miles in the dark because
that's crazy.
Because for the first 2 miles, it was light enough to where I could see, but I think it was a me thing. I think I forgot how bad my night vision is because all the other runners had no problem. They were like breezing through it. Even I talked to some of the runners after and they're like, I was like, man, it was really hard to see. I have 2 flashlights. They're like, oh yeah, I didn't have any problems. I just think I forgot how bad my night vision is. And then even driving back home, that was scary too, because it was no street lights or anything in the middle of Red Rock Canyon. And I was by myself. It was just kind of scary. But yeah, in hindsight, I don't even think I would have done that because like I couldn't see the floor. What if I stepped on something and fell and rolled my ankle? Because I know you're always so paranoid about me hurting myself. Like if I do a cartwheel, that makes you uneasy. So good thing you didn't see what went down. But luckily I did not trip. I did not fall. It was a miracle, but I couldn't even see the floor.
Playing
with
fire there, dude. Playing with fire. Well, I'm glad you made it.
Yeah. And honestly, at some point too, I didn't even push myself that hard because I'm like, I gotta see the floor. So yeah, but I got it done and I burnt some calories. So there's that.
Maybe you burn more because you're like
adrenaline is like,
yeah, you're like in a panicked state and if you're running in the dark, you got to be less stable, right? I mean,
yeah, I was like super careful about how I was stepping. You know, what's interesting too is I was so prepared to be so hot and sweaty. It was cold because it was in the canyon.
Oh,
and it was
okay.
at night and it was like cold. I was like running. I'm like, dang, I need like a jacket.
Huh.
So yeah, I mean, it's been like in the 1 teens here in Vegas. So it was like very unexpected.
Maybe you
but
burned some extra calories there too.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Man, yeah, that was crazy. That was a scary one. That's a
Yeah.
reckless.
Do
That's a reckless.
not recommend
Running.
doing
Yeah.
that.
I do not recommend running in a canyon for 4 miles in the dark. Yes. It is a dangerous. You're one rock away from rolling an ankle, you know?
Yeah. So, well, there's that.
Well, hey, that's after this Olympia, you have that as part of your prep.
Mhm.
You have that story now.
True. Very true. Okay, so let's talk about our thoughts going into Olympia. Let's start with the off season because that's, I think, where the journey begins. I went into off season after the Kazakhstan show in November, so I was in off season from late November to when did I even start prep? Like
I mean,
April, mid-April, or
yeah, about that, I would say.
so we did like a 6-week prep into the Mile High show. I didn't have to do a super long
Yeah,
prep.
because you stayed in shape. So
yeah,
like,
I had a pretty decent off season. Well, let me go back and say this. I kept it really tight in the off season. I don't know if I pushed myself super, super hard lifting wise, but I did keep it very tight. So that helped a lot when I went to go prep for my other show because it wasn't as difficult to get where I needed to be. Like that was probably the tightest I've kept in off season from what I remember.
Yeah.
And I didn't even like try.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was just kind of working for you. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even like try. Like I wasn't intentionally trying to keep it lean. But I somehow pulled that one off. So I'm not complaining. But yeah, I didn't gain too much in the off season.
Yeah, well, you eat clean. It's not like you're one of those people that just goes crazy because you're not on diet. You ate out a little bit with Hugo. You'd eat once a week, once every couple of weeks. You went out to dinner, but it was everything else was just pretty much just what you wanted to eat, but it was always clean foods.
Yeah. So like when other people like, I guess their way to indulge in the off season is with food. Mine is like, oh, I can ease up on training a little bit. That's my like relief, my mental relief in the off season. But altogether, I was pretty satisfied and happily surprised about how my off season went. It went like better than expected, all things considered. So it started the year off right. And that's when we headed into the Mile High show. And I will say this, like even heading into the Mile High show this year, I felt that's when I started to feel the pressure. Even at a small show is when I start to feel like, this year feels different. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Coming off being number 2. I mean, you're number 2 in the world. Even right now, you're number 2 in the world. It's just a little bit of extra unforgivingness to it, right? Is what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I feel like people think that like I'm just like, oh yeah, this is just a small local show and whatever, just like easing into it. Nope. I still felt that pressure even from the first show. So that was just a sign of things to come for the rest of the year. Cause every show this year I felt so uptight,
Yeah. Yeah. I'd agree.
And maybe a little unnecessarily uptight. Like I just was like overthinking everything this whole year. And so I will say like my focus, my mental has been a little like different. But physically, like I feel like I've been doing good. Like every like feedback I've gotten this year was like, yeah, you're good to go. And a few judges even said, you look even better than last year. So I'm like, okay, this is good.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that too. I think that you're just a little bit fuller this year, which wasn't, they didn't say it was super necessary, but they said, it wouldn't hurt you. So yeah, I think that I agree with that too. So I'm excited for this year, because you've made a little bit of change, but you haven't made enough change where it's like you're changing the whole thing and it could throw the whole thing off,
Right. And that was intentional. You always say this, like if you're already where you need to be and the judges like you like this, there's no point in making a big drastic difference.
Believe me, if the option is take a risk and maybe have enough to win first place, or that risk potentially pushing you to like 15th and being way off the scale, or just staying safe and being second place, I'm going to take staying safe, being second place, like 7 days a week. I'm like, sorry, Ashley, this is what we're shooting for.
I will take second place every day for the rest of my life. I'll take it.
Yeah. 100%.
For the Olympia.
Yeah. So like, it's just not worth the risk of like going full crazy and trying to, be a totally different physique. That would be just so reckless at that point. When you're in those top spots, it's just the day, really. Like it just has to go your way, really, So
yeah, and we are changing some things heading into this Olympia, but it's not as much. We're not really trying to change the physique as much. I'm wearing a new suit. Woo!
I love the suit.
Yeah, I should have brought it to show, but now you have to wait till Olympia to see it, or see it on my YouTube channel because I'll be posting about it.
Yeah, the YouTube channel. You're so crazy with bringing out the suit already.
Why
too.
Well,
it's not crazy. It's just that no one does it. Everyone keeps their suit color like it's the nuclear launch codes, right? They're like, they'll post their picture, new suit, and they'll do it in like black and white and try to create all this hype around it. Ashley's like, nope, here's my suit.
Well, hey, if anyone copies, we know who they got it from. That's all I'm going to say because I put it out there. But I love the color. I'll describe the color so you guys can't see it anyway because you're listening. But it's on a matte Kelly green material, and the stones are like an aqua and a bluish and a greenish. So I think it's the most blue-ish my suit has ever looked. It might come across like a blue on stage, like a turquoisey blue. I'm not entirely sure, but it is a very vivid and beautiful color, and Adam approved.
Yeah, I like it. It's a decent change for you. It's like it falls into, because the blend of it on stage, it looks kind of aqua. I call it aqua. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely, and it's cool. It's giving them something different, a little bit something different to look at. And I think it matches your personality really well too. I mean, I like that. You pull off, the thing is you pull off red and you pull off green, and you pull off, you have your bubbly personality on stage. It does work with how you pose and how you do your hair. I like when you do your red suit and straight hair, the red lip. I think that's a really good look. But yeah, I really do like this. I think it matches your posing really well too, and how you present yourself. So
yeah, and Adam likes it even more than Kermit Night Out. So Kermit's Night Out. So we'll have to rename this one once we see it shine on stage, and then see what makes the most sense for that. But
come with a fun name again.
Yeah, we'll have to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
I know you're already, your wheels are turning.
Blue Steel came to my mind, but Blue Steel.
We don't know if it's going to be blue yet.
Yeah, with the Blue Steel. Like, every pose in that picture for Angels, you got to do the Blue Steel face.
Oh, yeah. So we'll see what it actually looks like on stage. Because, when you look at a suit in person versus on stage, it can reflect a little bit differently. But yeah, I decided to go with the bluish greenish route this time. It's still technically green, okay? Technically, because it's on green material, so don't say I'm switching sides here. We're still team green. Red, I try not to wear as much because I do feel like it's a little too common of a color. I feel like a lot of girls almost everyone can pull off red.
Yeah, red and blue is like everyone.
Yeah, so I tried to avoid red and blue for that because less people are wearing like green. So, I try to stand out a little bit in that way. I'm also going to wear my hair different. I didn't like my hair last time. I got my extensions done, and I didn't like the placement of it. This is going to be so boring for you to hear, Adam, because there's a lot of girly talk. I didn't like how my extensions were because they were very bottom heavy, and on the top, it was like super flat, and I hated it. I know you say you didn't mind it or you didn't notice that it looked different, but I hated my hair last year. Hate it.
I'd agree that Kazakhstan was better.
Yeah, Kazakhstan. Yeah, I did my hair curly for that, and I'm going to try to replicate that hairstyle. That was probably what I should have done for Olympia, but you know what? Hey, I don't know how many shows I've done, but I'm still learning. And that's a mistake I'm not going to make again, is getting my hair extensions very bottom heavy and too much hair too. I didn't like it. I took those extensions out like a week after the Olympia, and I'm like, wow, what a waste of money, because I couldn't stand it. I hated how it looked. But yeah, that is going to be changed for this year for sure.
So yeah. So anyway, going into, it's funny you say these things are girly, but I know so much about girly things now, like makeup and tones and the right eyeshadows and lip colors and a glossy lip. And like, I know so funny. I know way too much. Like it's so funny how you just like get good at these things over the years. So when you tell me these things, actually, I keep it in my bank, my memory bank. And I'm like, okay, remember that one just for later, just in case. It's so funny.
Oh my gosh. Natalia, look at her suggestion. The aqua
bear suit for the water bear.
For the water bear tardigrade.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
I love it. Water bear. That might be nice. Water bear or aqua bear. I think they're actually called water bears, not aqua bears. But aqua bear is a play on words of water bear. I think that's what she's doing.
Yeah.
So I like it. Thank you for the suggestion. Keep those name suggestions coming. Jeez. We're running out of creativity
I
over
thought
here.
I won the name battle, but that one might win mine. The Kermit's Night Out.
that one's pretty iconic. There's, by the way, the suits that I do use are from Angel Competition Bikinis. Use code AshleyKFit to save, and you too can have your Kermit Night Out suit or even an Aqua Bear suit.
Yeah.
So whatever you choose, you get a little discount there.
Yeah.
But
and on the prediction video, we're giving away suits too.
Oh wow, suits galore.
Angel Competition Bikini. So
suits galore.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of giveaways on that one. Colt's jumping in. Colt Fitness is jumping in, giving some money away on that. The Shoe Fairy is gonna give away shoes on that, and then Angel's is gonna do posing suits on that. Then of course we're gonna do the cash prize if someone gets that, and a trip to the Olympia if someone gets that. So
that's a doozy.
It'll be a doozy of a video. I just hope someone gets everything. I mean,
do you though?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You don't want to just keep it for yourself, Adam?
It's a tax write-off. I don't care. It's like whatever. It comes out of doesn't come out of. If it was like after tax dollars, I would be like, no. All right, cool. So where are we at now, Ashley?
Let's talk about how this season went a little bit more, because I briefly, described my thoughts on it. But how do you think this season went? What did you notice? Any differences, any changes, or
I don't think
any reflection about how because I did 4 shows this year leading to Olympia. I'm counting Kazakhstan as one of those shows because I did it after the Olympic qualification last year. So I did that in November. So I did Kazakhstan, I did the Mile High, I did the World Bikini, which was the pro division of junior nationals in Tennessee. That was a good one. And then of course, Vancouver. So I kept this year's shows lighter so I can focus more on the Olympia. That was our plan because last year I didn't do that. My main goal last year was to get 50 wins. So now that I did it, we're focusing just on the big show and why don't you tell them a little bit about the advantages of, stepping on stage before the big stage, just to get the rust off, to see where you're at, things like that.
Yeah. And I think it's not just to get the rust off, but you got to get practice in. I don't know how people do it once a year.
I don't either. But kudos to you for having that confidence. That can't
no
be
hate or anything. Yeah. It's just
like how? Like we're shocked and
it's crazy
impressed.
It's crazy to do. Well, think of like any other sport, doing it once a year, and not just that you're doing it once a year, but you're doing it once a year at the championship. Like, like Peyton Manning throwing a football. He's like, I'm just going to do the Super Bowl. Like, you're not going to practice and get there's a lot that goes into it. Just stage time and repetitiveness and getting comfortable up there, not having those nerves. Like it's pretty nerve wracking, So, kudos to those who could do it. But yeah, I like the getting a little bit of practice in. Also, the things that we'll see is we'll see how you look from show to show. And then you get to see things on athletes that you don't normally get to see. When someone's in stage shape versus in good condition, there's a big difference. So, when Ashley gets in stage shape, we could see, are her glutes striding? Are her shoulders striding too much? Are her quads striding? Like, our hamstrings, does she need to push that hard or whatever? And it's like, you don't get to get those many opportunities. And you could always say, I'll do a mock peak week. Like, it's not the same thing, being on stage, on lights, being compared next to other people, and that's when you really get to see what you look like, so that's how, I'll do my coaching too, is when someone competes, I want to see pictures of them like next to someone. I want to see them, their stage pictures, and say, okay, what do you look like? What's that final product look like? Because that's when we can see, okay, hey, you actually do need bigger tie-ins. Like you need actually bigger tie-ins. Like you need more development there, or you have your glutes are striding in your transitions way too much. We got to fill that area in a little bit, like that type of thing. So that's kind of the benefits of it. The other thing is shooting for fullness. How full can we get before we spill? Where do those signs come in and whatnot? Seeing multiple different conditions, getting in front of different judges, getting in front of the judges who are going to be at the Olympia and getting their feedback on what they want too. So now there's a lot of disadvantages to it, of course, too. The pressure. Yeah. I mean, you have that scenario where here's the thing about the pro stage is that if Ashley competes once a year at the Olympia and she gets a first call out, God willing, she gets a first call out. But let's say she's done that every year for the last like 5 years or whatever it is, right? So the odds of getting next to Ashley and being compared to her is pretty low. Like you have to make first call out to get next to her if she only did the Olympia. So it's like so hard to get next to these people, like, and be compared next to them. So now you take it to like another level and you go to a local level show or a smaller show, and you might only get 16th place, 25th place at the Olympia, and you've been there for you. Well, now because you're an Olympian and Ashley's the only other Olympian, you got to get directly compared next to her. And then you got to eliminate the fact that it's not just Olympia judges it. You get judges who've only judged 4 pro shows, their first year of judging pro shows. Now it becomes a lot more vulnerable situation. It's because there's no one else to compare you to. You could look too big because everyone else there is small that day, but you're comparing to the top 5 in the Olympia. Usually everyone else there is bottom 25, 30. And now you look way too big. And it's like, oh, you're just a little too big, right? So it's a very vulnerable situation you put yourself in. So I understand why these girls do it once a year, because if you're like a top 5 people, you have a target on your back. It's like, oh, I want to beat her. That puts me with good momentum going into the Olympia. But the only chance you get to beat them is at the smaller shows because you can't make first call out usually. So it's like a really difficult situation and a pressure-filled situation where you shouldn't ever go into a show like expecting to win, but you kind of have to go into every show being like, man, I kind of have to win. Like, cause I don't want to make this person's career like being like, oh, well, whatever the scenario was, they would win. And then they're like, oh, now she's beat Ashley, whatever. Right. And that situation does come up. So the top 5 girls, I understand why you guys don't compete, because you're smart to not do it, but it's also so hard to not do it.
There's a give and take.
There's a huge give and take. The risk is so high.
Yeah. I would agree with that. And, I think another point to be made there too is on the side of it's risky not to see where you're at before Olympia is, you've been working on your body all year. And if you're only competing at the Olympia, I would not expect anyone to stay stage lean, of course, or even get close to that, because it's been a long period of time. And you got to wonder, well, what muscle groups are we perhaps unintentionally overdeveloping, and which ones are we kind of neglecting? Because you can have the same training program as previously, but sometimes your dominant muscle groups are going to shine more. And we're even seeing that a little bit now with my lower body, but at least we can catch it. At least we can see, because I stayed leaner, right? But if I was in off season all year and I was training the same way, we might not have noticed that my legs are taking over until it's too late.
Yeah.
So in that scenario, it's nice to, as you say, unveil the curtain, right? A few times during the year, at least once during the year, to see, all right, this is what I look like. Okay, I need to start training my shoulders more. I need to train my hamstrings less. I need to do this and this, because in the off season, it's not a good representation of what muscle groups are, more powerful and what ones aren't, because you have a layer of body fat to oversee. So that can be a little tricky mentally, and just hopefully it's not too late before you notice where your balance is at.
There you go. Yeah. I think that you got that exactly right. So yeah, if you're a newer pro, I recommend competing often and trying to get in those situations where you can get in a situation where you're next to a top girl and hopefully get the look that day, but if you're an advanced girl, you have to play the risk rewards on that. The risk rewards are pretty, what's crazy is that in reality, the risk is higher than the reward for sure.
I took so many risks last year.
Yeah. Yeah. The risk is, is higher than the reward, because the problem is when you're number 2 in the world is that when you win, it's kind of like, oh yeah, well, Ashley won. Of course you won. Like, no, it's not like we think of it as huge. It's amazing. I can't believe you did it again. That's great. It's like, but everyone else is like, oh, well, yeah, she's number 2. Of course she won. Like, it's like, but but if you lose, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's a huge thing.
Yeah. So, these days I will say, moving forward too, now that I achieved my goal of 50 wins, I'm at 53 now. I'm going to take a lot less risks in that department. So yeah, I'm much more careful these days about where I'm going, who's judging, and the whole scenario. So better safe than sorry.
Yeah. You set your sword in the stone on that one. There's not going to be very many people that are going to try to pull that out. It's it's at 53 and who knows where you'll end up. I mean, in bikini, especially now that there's one bikini, there's no way no one's going to do it in bikini anyway. I could see maybe a fit model girl in the future, because that you should be able to compete a lot in fit model. That's the purpose, but not in bikini. No one's going to touch that.
I'll make sure they don't, because I'm not done. Although I'm taking less risks, that doesn't mean I'm stopping. I'm
yeah. Who knows where you'll end up? 75? Like, who knows?
Just trust and believe. I'm going to make it very impossible.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah. I don't see it ever. I don't see it ever happening, especially in bikini. With the new fit model division, I could see there being a little bit more likely. Like some 18-year-old girl gets her pro card. And it's easy for her. And she competes 10 times a year, you know.
She's mid-30s still doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like, you know what I mean? That I could see that because it's different, but definitely not in bikini. So.
You know what? I got asked that on an interview. Like, do you think anyone's ever going to be able to break it? And I said this, it's like, I don't think I'm special in the sense that I'm like genetically superior to anyone, but I think that in order to do great things, you have to go above and beyond what other people are unwilling to do. And when I see like the current state of competitors, like everyone's afraid to compete more than like twice a year. So that I was like, you know, they totally could, but I don't think anyone's willing to step it up because, you know, I'm going to freaking Kazakhstan to win shows. Who else is doing that? You know what I mean? So like, I think it's possible someone could. I just haven't met anyone with my same mindset. Like, no one has my mindset. Like, it's just true. To keep going.
It's true.
And I remember even seeing last year, like someone did a tally of the most active competitors. It was me and another girl. And I think it was like, I don't even know how many shows I did last year, but we were tied. And then there was like a big drop off of like, just to show you, like, no one wants to compete often. So when we have that kind of mindset, it's hard to think that someone's going to be like, yep, I'm competing 14 times this year. Let's go. Because I haven't seen it. However, now with this new Olympia point system, maybe we will see more of that and maybe people will get a little closer. And that's why I got to keep a tab on that and, you know, do my thing.
Yeah, you got it right. There's just very few people who have the mindset long-term. I've met a lot of short-term people.
Mm-hmm.
I've met a lot of short-term people who I'm like, oh, she's got it. She's the next one. She's the next Ashley, right? And I'll be like, a year and a half, 2 years in, I'm like, oh, she fell off. Like, she doesn't want to compete anymore. Yeah. She wants to compete once a year. She can't stick to her diet. She's like burnt out. Like, you just don't run into that. I think you do. I think you run into a little bit of burnout, but not to the point where it'll stop your actions. You still do it.
Yeah.
Like, you're not motivated. Like you say, you're not motivated every day, but you're dedicated every day. And I think that there's periods where you're like, yeah, you are burnt out, but you're not gonna, so what? I'm not gonna stop, you know, like, and I think that that's the difference.
Yeah.
People will, because you need to do it, to beat your record. You have to have all the things. You have to not be able to get burnt out to the point where you stop, which is the biggest factor. That's like the biggest factor at all of them is that, like, for years, not just like cool, you did a 16-week prep, you get good for a year. No, I'm talking like 5 years. Talk to me in 5 years, you know, like, and you're still that motivated to do it. So that's one thing, which is like the biggest obstacle. Then you need the genetics to be able to compete a lot often. You know, some girls just aren't someone who can stay as lean. Now, be it a lot of those girls don't try, so we don't fully know the true answer to that. A lot of girls just say that they're not, well, I'm not that girl. I can't stay lean like Ashley. And a lot of the times I see them and it's
a mental thing.
Yeah. So who knows how many, let's say it's 30% of those girls could do it, but they just think they can't do it because they're not dedicated enough to do it. I think that'd be safe to say. And then you have to have the ability to do it, and thank God for high tech for giving you the ability to do this.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
My wonderful sponsor.
You know, doing 14 shows, you know, we're talking $28,000, $30,000 a year. If you're not sponsored and you're in America, if you're not in America, like almost double that, you know, it's like close to 50. So, yeah, so you need that. And, yeah, it all has to line up. So it's going to be really, really tough. And you have to be good enough to win shows, you know, and have the desire, knowing the risk, be able to deal with that pressure when you're winning, that you could lose to just some whoever at any day, you know, with the wrong judges, you know.
I think it's like a mental barrier too, like because at some point, if you compete as much as I do, you're going to have some shows that's not going to go your way. And that's where you see a lot of people drop off. And I always used to say this because you've had some athletes, and I'm not going to name any names, be like, oh yeah, so-and-so is going on a run this year. So-and-so is going on a run this year. And I'm like, yeah, we'll see. Say the same thing at the end of the year and we'll see. And no one ever follows through. Yeah. And, you know, and I know you have like some friend competitors too that might've said the same thing. And I'd be like, yeah. Let's check back in with me in a few months and see if they still have that mindset. And it's like, no, because they do bad at a show and then they're like, they get discouraged and that's it.
That's what happens every time. Yeah. It just like takes one show to derail the whole thing, you know? So yeah, it's tough, man. So You've done good. You know, even when you've had like, you know, it's inevitable. If you do as many shows, you're going to lose. You always bounce back. It's funny with you is everyone else, not everyone else, a lot of other people will quit after they have a bad show experience. But with you, it's like the opposite. You're like, I got to get that back. Like instantly you're like, nope, F that. I got to get that back. Like I got to do two. I got to win 2 shows to make up for that one show. And it's like a different mindset for you, you know?
Yeah, totally.
So
I also want to put in there too, and I don't know if this is one of the factors that you mentioned, but I actually think my lifestyle in general puts me in a good position to compete and do what I do. Like I, you know, I don't have kids. I don't have like a lot of dogs I have to tend to, just cats. And Hugo takes care of that while I compete.
he loves those cats.
Yes.
It's great.
And you
it's
know,
super cute.
Yeah.
You sends me like picture, like the videos of it. It's cute. He loves those cats.
So like, and I'm in a good spot here in Vegas. Like I'm in the best place to be able to compete. You know, my life is kind of set up in this way to allow me to. And I understand not everyone's life is like that. Some people do have like 9 to 5s that they have to be at for whatever reason, or they have a sick kid they have to take care of. And I recognize that there is a difference between my lifestyle and that, because that in a scenario like that, it makes it a lot more difficult to be able to compete frequently, you know? So I understand that there is quite a difference there. So that's another element to be mentioned as well.
So yeah. And you set up, you know, that's what you did. You set your whole life up for it. Just like me, you know, same thing. We like set our life up to do this at the highest we can, the fastest, the best we can. So that's why moving to Vegas made so much sense, you know? So I'm glad you did. Yeah. It was a good turnout, that Vegas thing.
Yeah. I like it.
Who knew it turned into a mecca, you know? It's so crazy.
There's so many bodybuilding gyms in Vegas. It's insane. Just if you guys are coming here for Olympia and you check out the local gyms, it's like, there's so many to choose from, you know, so many good bodybuilding gyms. And then you're going to go in and see like competitors that you see competing every weekend. Like, it's crazy. Every gym
you go to, there's like a top Olympian.
It's like,
it's so crazy.
I know. Cause like there's people in the middle of like Iowa or something that are just like,
you can't go to,
it's like 2 different worlds.
You can't go to any of the gyms out here and not see, not just like a pro, but like a pro's like they're like, that's every time at any hour of the day, all days. But the like top Olympians, you'll see like a few times a week. It's crazy how often you'll see it. It's just literally all the time. So it's just became a mecca. When we first moved here, and you know, I bought this building for the gym. We had we needed it. You know, there was no option. And then as soon as we got it like under construction, Fit Club came in, then Dragon's Lair moved here, then Powerhouse moved here. Then now we have, what's that gym that you worked at? You did that thing. It's like yellow. It's like a yellow gym. They use New Tech equipment. Well, anyway, New Tech just came here. Cult Fitness.
Let's mention Cult Fitness.
We have another one. Gosh, I'm forgetting it. It's like,
there's a lot.
Yeah, whatever. There's a lot. There's a ton of gyms. So anyway, with that, so we have so many gyms. I'm primarily working out of Colt now too, myself. So if you guys ever see it, like if there's any gossip going around, because I know people, I'm selling my gym and hopefully it sells. We'll see. I got a guy who's interested in it right now, and we'll see if it goes through.
Or if you want to buy it, contact Adam. Contact Adam at
$2 million.
If you have a few spare dollars and want to buy a cool gym.
It's funny. Well, it was a good investment, that's for sure. Ended up being really, really smart. So if it does, great. If it doesn't, I don't care. But but at this point, we kind of don't need it besides anything for the podcast, which we have another podcast studio we could use if needed. So it was funny because we needed it originally, and now it's like they're everywhere. Like any gym will be like, oh yeah, come on out. You know, strength culture, that's another one. So they're like, yeah, just come on out, train here, whatever. Like, all right, cool. It's like, it makes so much sense. So anyway, with that, going into like the Olympia prep, you know, specifically on the Olympia prep, anything, you know, just differences that we worked on this time?
Well, this year I'm training with your friend Russ for a few days per week. And I'm also training with you once and then Kimber once per week. And my flaw, I guess you could say, in all this is I am not really good at like pushing myself hard in the gym, which might be surprising to hear. I always will say I'm not really one to cheat on my diet. I'm one to cheat on my intensity in the gym. I might be like, you know what, I did 3 sets. That's good enough. just want to go home. That's kind of like my mentality sometimes, not all the time. So it's nice to have someone push me, hold me accountable, make sure I'm doing what I need to do, make sure that my rest periods aren't 12 minutes long, because that happens too if I'm not paying attention. So that's been very helpful, just to make sure, I'm pretty much guaranteed a good workout, because this person's not going to allow me to slack. So that's been very, very helpful. I've been getting in 5 good training days per week. And cardio has been, we've just recently increased it, but I would say it's pretty much in line with my previous cardios. I don't think that's any different. And as far as like, I keep bringing this up, the pressure is just a lot more this year, just given that I was second place last year. Even before that, I was third place 3 years in a row. I felt the pressure then, but this year so much more. So like I said, the burden of expectations very strong. The pressure is high. But if there's one silver lining, is that I tend to do well under pressure. Although I hate the pressure so much, it really it consumes my mind. Even before I go to sleep, I'm like, oh God, I hope this all turns out okay. But I tend to do well under it. So it's kind of like a necessary evil. Hopefully it will help. We'll see. Time will tell. But it's just been a lot of like mental chaos going on just all around the Olympia. Nothing like bad in my personal life or anything. It's just all Olympia focus. I keep overthinking everything, and I'm just like, hope this goes well.
Yeah. I can see it this year on you, especially. This year has been definitely a little heavier, but it is for me too. So it's not, I just want you to say, it's for me too. Like I feel it too.
Yeah. It's like, when I was getting like 6th place, 7th place, and that pressure was almost non-existent. It's funny how that works, because it was almost like my mindset was like, I know I can do better than 7th. I can't wait to get back on stage and show them. And I would, and that was like motivating to me. But now it's like, I just want to hold this position. Like, this is fine. I'll take it. I will just, because it's like, I guess what sucks about it is like, for 365 days, I can say I'm number 2 in the world. No one can take that away from me until someone beats me. Now, when I step on stage at the Olympia, this is the realistic Ashley talking, and I know you hate me saying it. It's more likely that I'm going to go down in placings than up. There's only one place to go, up, right? Or stay the same, which, by the way, if I stayed the same, that would be a freaking miracle. I would, hallelujah, I'll take it all day, every day. I'll take it. But realistically, it might be more likely that I'm going to decrease in placings, right? So I'm struggling with that, like trying to be optimistic, but also being realistic,
Yeah.
I mean, feel like, because not that I'm not confident. It's not coming from that. It's more like,
if you're running pure numbers statistically, that's an accurate statement. That's an accurate statement. So, I'd love to hype you up and be like, no, but I'm also
realistic.
Yeah. But if you look at pure statistics and just look at those numbers and how the volatility of our division specifically, you are correct. But I will say, you've done everything you need to at least maintain that position this year better than you have before. So I'm going to throw that in there. Yeah. If not, go up one. But going up one is it's pretty tough to go up one. Yeah. And it's always hard to that everything at the very end is the hardest. The last little bit of body fat, the last position, the last, it's always the hardest. But you've done everything you need to this year to put yourself in the position for that to happen. But statistically, yes, you're correct. The odds are more the other direction than at least maintaining. That's it. That's just,
yes.
If you look at every number 2 in the world and you did the math on them and how they did the year after, of course, your percentages wise, you're accurate. Yes.
I think it's important to say that, because, we also got to prepare if things don't go well. So mentally, I'm like, hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst kind of thing. When I won 3 times or won the 3rd place 3 times in a row, even then, each year that I won 3rd, I'm like, how on God's green earth did I even pull that off? Like every year, ever since I started to go up in placings, like I went from 5th to 6th to 7th, right? And after the 7th place, that's when things changed. That's when I got my 3rd place the year after. And then I got 3rd place again, and the 3rd place again. And then I got 2nd. And each time I was like, I do not know how I'm pulling this off. This is crazy that I'm still up there, because something that I've noticed over time, especially with that third place spot. It's very interchangeable. So
Yeah.
I'm so surprised I was able to be in the mix for that long. Like, I'm still in the freaking mix.
Yeah.
How? I don't know how,
It
but I'm
really
not
is.
complaining.
You're right.
So part of my brain thinks like, how long can I pull that off and how long can I get lucky and pull this off? You know what I mean? Before, like, because even if we're just looking at normal shows, how, like, if you compete 5 times, there's got to be one of those 5 shows that's like maybe not your best.
Yeah.
Kind of. You know what I'm saying? Even it's just like normal human fluctuation and changes.
That's where the luck factor comes in.
Yes.
Will you show up that day, you know?
How many years can I get lucky and, you know, everything, not everything, but most things go well is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, you know, you're right. That is part of it. You've had one year where it was kind of catastrophic, like the day before the Olympia, but that was, but usually your body tends to show up. It's just so weird, you know. It's
for
like,
the Olympia,
yeah.
Especially.
It like she's just like, all right, let's go do this again. Like you just wake up and you're like, what happened?
It doesn't work like that for the Arnold though. What the heck? That's why I don't do it as much. Because Arnold, I don't do as well at the Arnold for whatever reason.
I don't know. It has to be like, it has to be mental to some capacity.
Because it's Ohio.
like the Olympia, I don't know. There's a certain point, I think, at night or something. It has to be, right? Where you just go to sleep and you just accept your fate. And then you're just like, I've done what I can. I can't do anything more. And then maybe the stress just leaves and your body just, you know, maybe. I don't know, but it seems to be every time if I won Olympia, you know, you start your period before, like right before the Olympia to kind of throw things off. But other than that, like they've been showing up pretty well, you know? So,
yep. So we'll see. Sorry in advance if I don't do as well as you expected. That's all I got to say. Sorry in advance. But if I do well, you're welcome.
Yeah. I mean, if we're looking at results based only, that's a possibility. But as far as like you not doing as well as I expected, I would say you've already done better than I expected this year for your prep. So,
yeah.
So we can't be just results based in this industry. It's
true.
Did you do better than your expectations in terms of your prep for the show? And I'll say this year for sure you did.
Yeah. Things have been my body has responded much better this year.
Yeah. And just the training in general. I mean, training with Russ is hard. You know, I've trained with Russ. That's freaking hard. You know, I had to like get ready to train with Russ. I had to like train for 6 weeks to train with Russ.
That's funny.
Like he's no joke. He's been my friend for like 15 years, something crazy like that. So like, I mean, he's been bodybuilding the whole time. The guy's a beast, you know? So, you know, with him, Kimber too, with like, I don't do legs with Kimber. F that, dude. Like, she'll break my glutes. So like she trains hard. So like, you know, you've done that 5 days a week. You've put in more effort than you ever have on that thing. It's on that part of it. You know, you didn't have crazy fluctuations this year. I mean, you never have fluctuations. It's almost like you kind of like don't even get credit for being good on your diet because you're always good on your diet, which in every other case of the year, I give people credit for that. For you, it's like, yeah, that's what you do.
I don't feel like I deserve, because I just don't eat like an asshole. I'll be honest. I don't think I'm super strict either. I snack around sometimes, especially when I'm not close to a show. I'll be a picker, but like, I just don't eat like complete trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you catch yourself too, which a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Like if you're up a little bit where you're a little squishy, you recognize that pretty quickly. And it doesn't take me saying it. You're just like, I better tighten it up a little bit.
I better reel it in. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not, you know, a lot of times people don't realize that till they're 25 pounds up, 30 pounds up. And they're like, I should probably, and their only answer is to do a show. That's the only way they can get in shape, is like get ready for a show. And I'm like, you can't keep transforming into shows. Like it's not going to work eventually, you know? And so, but that seems, you know, but them reeling it in, there's no other way they're going to reel it in without them only doing a show. And it's like, that's not how you should live this life, you know? So yeah, you do the good on that part. So,
you know, I try. I really do try.
You're setting a good example. I get a lot of people nowadays, you know, that will reach out and say, you know, this is how I want to do my off season, or they'll have a bad off season and their coach made them gain too much weight or whatever, like that type of things where they just get bulking or whatever. And they're like, I did that and I don't like that. Like, I want to feel fit all year and do it how you do it. Like, I'm mentally ready now to be able to do that. And my whole thing is like, you're a fitness person. You should be fit all year. Like, how crazy is that? Like, how crazy is that I want you to just be fit all year, you know, not shredded all year, but just be fit. Like, you earned it. You know, most people aren't making their living one time a year on stage. So why wouldn't you be in shape all year long? Like, it doesn't make any sense, you know?
I think if people were with me, like during my entire off season, they would think, oh, that's a lot more reasonable than I expected. I can do this too.
Yeah.
I feel like people have this interpretation of me that since I keep it leaner, or that's what I'm known for anyway, that I'm like super rigid and I'm probably weighing out every single pea in the pod and before it touches my plate. I don't weigh anything. I don't. I feel like I eat closer to a normal person than most people in this industry. I just don't go crazy with it.
Yeah.
I eat like a normal, healthy person. But I don't see myself as being overly restrictive by any means.
I was talking to this girl the other day about that, and she was like on the same page as us with like wanting to be lean. She's like, yeah, and I, maybe I have an eating issue, whatever. And I'm like, why? Because you eat healthy all the time? Like, don't let people mess with your head that can't stick to their diet tell you that you have an eating disorder because you're eating healthy all year. Like in the 40s, everyone ate healthy every day, all day. The whole population was skinny, right? No one was fat. So like you're like, if you look at the people you'd see at like those fairs, like the fat guy, like he was like a guy you'd see at like Walmart right now. It's like,
that's
it wasn't,
a good way to put it.
Yeah, you'd pay to see some guy that's like
true.
280 pounds. You're like, well, how do you do that? And it's like, dude, that's like, go downtown in Vegas and see people walking around on their strollers, like the stroller things, like but I'm like, don't let people convince you who have problems with eating, because the real problem with eating is blowing up every single year, every single show, gaining 25, 30% of your body weight. And then they're the ones looking down on people who stay fit all year. And I'm like, don't let them convince you that you have an eating disorder, because everyone has kind of normalized this kind of just eating whatever, anything you want all day, every day, off seasons. And they call that balance. They call that giving your body a break or your mind a break, when you're just eating healthy. Like, that's nothing wrong with eating healthy. Like, don't let the people think that that's a bad thing. Don't let people convince you of that. It's always like people with, what do they say? Like more than 50% of psychologists have like a psychological disorder. Like, it's like people who are assessing people are people who need to be assessed, and like, you're not going to get a diagnosis from someone who has problems. Like, it's just not, so like, if it feels good to you, it's good for you. If you're not now living in a deficit your entire life and being, not able to put on muscle and being shredded all the time, yeah, that's where things become a problem. If you're just staying healthy and you're eating clean, like, there's nothing, don't let people tell you that that's bad.
And there's quite a difference in that. And I feel like people put me in the group of being like the stage lean 365 days a year. Believe me, I know of some girls like that. They are not making gains. They are shredded every moment of the day. And you ask them, oh, are you about to compete? No, I'm in off season. And you're just like, what is going on?
I'm deep in off season. I feel fat.
Even in their off season, you're like, whoa, you're even way too lean just for the stage. That's when I think it's something mentally like, let's look into this a little bit.
I've seen those. I've had those girls. I've seen those. Well, not had those girls. A lot of times I can't even take them on. It's too dangerous, so
it's like the over obsession of like everything needs to be weighed and every time and timed and this cardio before anything else. And that's when it becomes I get a little concerned. I'm not in that category. Trust me, I don't do any cardio in the off season. Hopefully I'm not coming across like I'm bragging or something, but I don't do cardio in the off. I wean myself off of cardio. I barely weigh myself.
Yeah, I think it's important.
I'm not obsessed like that.
Because these younger girls, and the girl I was talking to was like a younger girl who was is in her head that she had an issue because she was staying relatively lean. And I saw her pictures. I'm like, she wasn't even that lean. Like, you're like healthy lean. You were like fit. You were fit.
Yeah.
You weren't like shredded. You were
fit. You can go into any gym and see like, okay, someone has the same conditioning level as this girl that's concerned about it. Like, it's not a rarity to see that. But since we're in the industry, it's like it's an issue.
Yeah.
Not to say that a random person in the gym has a better physique, but I'm talking about like body fat and conditioning level. You'll see a girl in the gym with abs 365 days a year. No one's saying, oh my God, I'm so concerned for you.
Yeah. And it's just because of people who are rationalizing, who can't stick to their diet all year, want to normalize that as that's the right thing to do. And what you're doing is the wrong thing to do because they can't do it themselves. And that's where it becomes. And then when they start making it like the mainstream, because there's a lot more people who can't stick to their diet than that can, they start putting pressure on the girls who can't. And because they're looking at it as like, oh, that's something I can't do. And they want to, kind of make them look like they're doing something wrong. Oh, you have an eating disorder because you're eating healthy all year. You know what I mean? But, then again, things are changing now because everyone's taking retatrutide and whatnot. So it's like,
and there's more shows. this upcoming season. So now you're going to have to be more, or you're going to have to, for the Olympians anyway, if you're wanting to qualify, you're going to have to compete more.
Yeah.
So that's going to have to require everyone to have keep it a little tighter in the off season. I think it'll probably help with that a little bit.
Yeah. So we're going to start seeing the competitions are going to start just instantly getting deeper. You know, yes. What's funny is I wanted to do a video on that too. Like the number of people because I was thinking about the other day, there's so many people that will qualify for the Olympia that like they just didn't this year based on the new standard, that we're going to see so many people competing more often, and they're going to do 2-3 shows and be done. But
I would even go as far to say whatever the top 15 at the Olympias can easily win 2 shows.
Yeah.
That should be no problem for them. The Olympia top 15, there should be no problem of winning 2 shows. Yeah. So I don't know. In the beginning, I thought it would cut off a lot of the competitors, but no, I don't know.
Not that much.
I think it's going to probably cut off a few, but the biggest difference is you're going to see a lot more competition in the smaller shows. So you probably won't see like a competition with 6 competitors anymore. That will be a thing of the past. Probably minimum 16.
Yeah.
Just because everyone's trying to go for their points and everything.
I'll say, as long as their bodies can handle it and it's financially feasible, 100% of the top 15 will get in there, 50% of the 16 through 25, and probably like actually closer to 60-70% of 16 through 25, and then 26 through 35, probably like 40% of them. So it's like it's gonna be a lot of people. It's not, you know, there's not too many one-offs in that group. Like those like first through 30. There's not many of them that just kind of lucked their way into it. Like they're good competitors. If you're beating anyone at the Olympia, you're a good competitor. So yeah. So
it'll be interesting next year, but I'm kind of excited for it because now you get to play my game. So welcome.
Yeah. Welcome. All right. So with that, what are your final feelings about the Olympia? Ashley, anything you want to say? Anything you've been feeling and thinking?
I mean, I think the overall theme, and I've been mentioning it so much in the podcasts, is, this pressure is really getting to me this year. But one thing I do try to do to help with that is just the gratitude aspect. Like, you know what, no matter what happens, look how far I've come. You know, I promised myself after I won 3 Olympias, everything else is just icing on the cake. And I feel like I got the icing, I got the sprinkles, I got the decorative fondue pieces in there too. I got it all. So it's like, I can't be too greedy, right? But it would be nice to win, right? It's been 10 years since I've won an Olympia. What? That's been a long time. I've gotten close. So I've gotten close. Last year I got second. So it would be wild for me to win, but I also have to mentally prepare myself if things, get even worse than what I did last year. So, it's like a lot of thoughts going on in my head, but just trying to bring myself back to, gratitude. Like, so many girls wish they could be in your position, wearing your heels in your suit. So many girls would love that. And I would even look at my younger self and be like, I want to do that. That's so cool. And I still can't believe I'm still here doing it after, over 10 years and still in the mix somehow. So I can't complain too much. We got good questions here too we can answer.
Yeah. So I think that your mindset's exactly where it needs to be for Olympia.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wish there was a way to get rid of the
pressure.
The pressure of
it. Well, the pressure, I do well under it though. Diamonds, what do they say? Diamonds are created under pressure. That's what we're going to go with.
Yeah. So
I do want to answer this question here though. It was actually pretty good. Ashley, if you take number 1 this year, would you compete next year? How would it affect your competition strategy? Thanks. That's a good question. I think I would compete at least once before the Olympia, but I definitely wouldn't be going on a run. That's for sure. I would probably be a little more conservative and be like, you know what, let's just play it safe. I'm in a good position. Because there is one good thing about, doing it like that is like no one, like if you're number 1 at the Olympia, unless you step on stage again, you're guaranteed to be number 1 for an entire year. Does that make sense? No one can take that crown away from you unless you step on stage and put yourself in a vulnerable situation and someone takes it from you. But for an entire year, you can say, yeah, I'm number 1, which is a really cool thing. So I would probably compete once or twice if that were to happen, but that's quite a stretch.
Yeah. And then, I guess with that is pretty much it.
Do you want to answer the distilled?
Nah, it's
No?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, just keep your water the same.
Keep your water the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, with that, guys, thank you guys so much. We hope to see you at the Olympia. We have
Meet
the
the
booth. Yeah,
athletes. I think it starts at 7 p.m. on Thursday. So I'll be there.
we'll be there. Yeah, I'll be running around, but I'll be there at your booth like 90% of the time.
Thank you.
So yeah, it'll be fun. Okay. I want to get this out to people though. If you're there to see Ashley and you watch a podcast, please respectfully, can you not come? Like, so the cutoff is like 7 to 9 p.m. I always have to be the jerk that cuts off the line, right? Because I don't want Ashley to be the jerk. I'm fine being the jerk, but don't give me this bullshit that you came at 9:05 and you flew in just to see Ashley. If you were here just to see Ashley, you would have came at 7 when it opens, 7 to 9. So please, we got to get her some rest. She's on her feet all day that day. So I'm going to cut the line strictly at 9 and get her upstairs, whether you're in line or not. I'm telling you guys, I got to get you sleeping. All right.
Yeah.
9 is late for you already.
They have us working late, man, 9 p.m. But by the time you get to the hotel room, it's like 9:30, and then you got to shower, and then you got to relax.
So just come at 7,
Earlier the better.
There's always a little bit of a line.
I'll have some stickers. Like, I'll also have signing cards, but I just feel it's so tacky to do. Here's my autograph. Like, if you want it, sure, I'll give it to you. But I just like, if it were me, I'd be like, just give me the sticker. Yeah. I just want a cute cat sticker. Well, I don't want your autograph.
What's taking place of autographs this year or these days is pictures. Pictures have taken place of it used to be only autographs, and now it's pictures. Unless they have something cool to sign, like they'll have an Olympia shirt or a belt, like a weight belt or a hat or something.
I think that's cool. So cool to sign that.
The belts are cool.
They are cool.
Yeah, that is a cool. And then work out every day with that and like keep it as like a motivating thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, guys, if you're coming at 9, you would came at 9. You didn't come to see like just Ashley at 9. Like people are like, oh, I flew in just to see her. I flew in. I'm like, then why are you here at like 9? Like at the cutoff? You should have been first in line if you flew in just to see her. So anyway, they always try to like sneak in extra time, and then that keeps us here like 30 minutes. Nope. 9 o'clock, Ashley. We're getting you to bed.
I might just sneak out, Sneak out.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. We'll see you at the Olympia. Bye.